So I'm Tara Randolph. I'm a sophomore and I'm a middle childhood education major. Well, I love the regional campuses just because of it's obviously a smaller campus, so just being able to see a friendly face on campus basically every time and getting to have more one-on-one time with the professors just because of the smaller class sizes. Well, in one of my classes, I failed a test, so yeah.
Was that a shock?
A little bit, yeah.
Did you study for it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult subject. I mean, honestly, there's probably some stuff I could have done differently now that I look back on it, because I was a CCP student at the time I was taking calculus here. I think part of it was I didn't really know all the resources that were available, so I think I didn't end up doing too terrible in the class because there's obviously ways that you can bring yourself back up from those, but here at the Tutoring and Learning Center, I know you guys offer a lot of tutoring, and I probably should have came here just to be sure that I had enough practice and that kind of stuff and knew the material. Obviously also going to professors' office hours, that's something you can do, and they love that because they're there during that time for you. So you could always go there and ask any questions that you have.
But isn't that scary?
I mean, they're just people. Honestly, professors are just people too. And then once you realize that, I think that definitely helps. Also, there's study groups that you can make as well and work with other students, and you can share ideas and figure out stuff that way as well.
My name's Hannah. I am a senior at Miami Hamilton, and I am majoring in applied social research and the Bachelor of Integrative Studies program for LGBT studies and a cross-cultural perspective of gender and sexuality. I like attending the regional campuses because it's close-knit, and regardless of what campus you're on, you always feel like you're at home because everybody knows each other, and if they don't, they still say hi when you pass by them and stuff like that. So I am a math tutor here on the regional campuses, and so I've taken several higher level math classes, specifically Stats 301, which is Intro to Statistics, that is calculus based, and then Calc 2, which is Math 251. And in both of those classes, it was a high ratio of male to female, and so in my Stats 301 class, there were 20 men students, and then about 3 women students. And then my Stats 30, my Math 251, which is Calc 2, there were 20 men students and 2 women students. And in those spaces, I felt that the other students, even if they weren't doing it consciously, were judging me for the fact that I was one of the only women in the class, and that I wasn't in the typical, oh, you're an English major. Yes, the way that they were, we were doing group work, the way they would converse with me versus when I was in their group versus when they were in a group with all of their men peers was different.
Give me an example of how so.
It seemed like, from my perspective, that when they were talking to me, that they would, trying to find the right words, they would not dumb it down, because the vocabulary itself wasn't dumbed down, but their tone was. So they were using the same vocabulary, but the way they said it was different from my perspective. And then on top of it, my teacher always assumed that if we had to do a group project, like 2 people, that I'd always want to be paired with the other woman in the room, automatically. To class, and I did my studying that I normally did, and I tried harder, and I had to consciously like make an effort that no, it is not. I had to consciously think about, yes, I belong here. This is what I want to do. I want to learn math, and that means I need to be here, no matter how uncomfortable it makes me feel. Yes, but it did take a conscious effort to just be like, yes, I need to, if I want to be able to learn math, I have to go to class, and I have to
Rise above.
I have to rise above the fact that I feel uncomfortable in the setting.
My name's Kevin Beck. I'll be a senior in the fall. Double major psychology and social work. It's close to home. Well, this one is. Then Middletown and Oxford are pretty much equal from here, so.
You go to all 3 campuses?
I did last year. I had that conversation a couple of times with Dr. Wickline this past semester because of her 293 class. I mean, I could have just kind of folded it up because that was an ungodly class. But I would come in, what time was that? I had 2 classes with her. One in the morning, that was, I can't remember what the number was, but it was clinical psych. And that would start at 10, but I would get to Middletown campus at 8 just to talk about my afternoon class because I just didn't want to get by. I wanted to understand why, how, and because there was just so much coming at me, I couldn't get it all at once. So yeah, I had to put that extra time and effort in. Life experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just when I'm in class and I hear, if there's discussions going on, debates going on, a lot, I don't want to say all students, there are a lot that they just listen to theory, just, what a professor may say. And I'm not saying a professor may have not experienced what I've experienced. They may have, but a lot of them just teach by the book. Life just, it doesn't follow a book.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I kind of push buttons sometimes because I'm like, well, I've seen this.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me this doesn't happen. I've seen it. So that kind of gets things going. But I mean, they end up being good discussions.
My name is Monica Schwab. I am a senior and I am a double major in criminal justice and forensic investigation. I like attending the regional campuses because of all the great opportunities that you get here. It's very close-knit, and so therefore you get a lot more opportunities to connect with faculty and staff, and we have great internship opportunities, and everybody's really supportive of you no matter what you do. So it's just a really great place to be.
Give me an example of connecting with a faculty member.
So my sophomore year, I had a professor. I had him for 2 semesters, fall and spring. And then I decided I was going to apply for this internship with the FBI for next summer. So because I made those connections with him and I visited him during office hours, talked to him when I had a problem in the class or whatever, he's willing to write me a recommendation letter because he knows that I work hard and can help me secure said internship for that reason. So. I dated a guy for a semester that didn't put school as his top priority. And so because of that, it kind of made me not want to put school as my top priority, and it makes me sound terrible.
No.
So I was more worried about keeping his GPA up than my GPA up, but because of that, I failed a class because of it, and my GPA dropped because I was so worried about, his needs, and not mine. And so I realized this after I failed 2 exams in a week, and I kind of went back and thought to myself, well, why did this happen? And I was like, okay, so I'm more worried about, him being successful, and therefore I'm not studying and I'm not doing the assignments that I need to do to be successful with my career. So I kind of, pulled myself back from the situation, and I kind of reevaluated, and I did eventually break up with them because of that.
When you failed 2 tests in 1 week, that was your wake-up call.
That was the wake-up call, yeah.
Okay, so then you broke up with your boyfriend.
Yep.
How did you recover in those 2 classes?
So I talked to the professor, kind of explained what was going on. They were all very understanding, which is, like I said, another reason why the regionals are great, because the professors are very, very understanding if you have a situation. They let me do some of the work for half credit back, and like I said, they were all super understanding. I did a lot of extra credit work. They're like, okay, write an extra paper about this and I'll give you some points for it. So it was just me, putting my nose to the grindstone and trying to recover from it, so.
And how did it turn out?
I ended up with a B in one of the classes and a C in the other one, so.
Nice, so that's a good recovery plan.
It was a good recovery plan when I was almost failing the class. It is your happiness and it is nobody else's happiness. Your success is the most important thing, and, don't let people bring you down.